Test 1 2, testing 1 2, check check check, trying the mic. Can you say something, Behemoth? Thank you. Hello everyone and welcome back to Pepper's Pages. It has been a while since I've been on here, and I thought that with the itch I've been having to get back into this, we could sit and kind of catch up today. As you've probably noticed, I am yet in another location. In the last year I've moved twice and just got settled in. As you can see as well, that everything's not quite set up yet. I do have my bookshelf back here. I have another one that I'm probably going to be getting rid of soon because I don't have a lot of the pieces for it anymore to keep it stable. So for now, most of my books are on other smaller shelves that I'd really love to go through and make it look nice, so when I film I'll have a little backdrop, I guess. A lot of big things have been happening. One in particular I would love to introduce you to, just so you kind of know what's going on in the background if you hear noises and stuff. Just a warning, he may be a little too ferocious for most viewers. Come here, come here. Come on, Behemoth, you want to come here and say hi? Come on. Or are you going to be mean? This is Behemoth. We call him Moth for short. I think he's about 12 weeks old now. I kind of stopped keeping count after he came to live with us. This little guy is so sweet. He loves to snuggle with us. He loves dragging his food out. He loves climbing things. We are currently learning not to bite. That's been a little bit of a struggle, but he's getting there. Yes. He also loves waking up at 3 o'clock on the dot every single morning to start practicing for his Olympic qualifiers in 2028. I'm very, very happy to have this little guy around. He is a menace for the most part, but it's been really nice to have him around, especially being here at the apartment now and getting used to everything. We actually basically helped raise these guys. We've been there since they were born. The mama was a stray cat that went to one of our friends' moms and ended up pregnant. And we got this little guy out of it. Last weekend, he got to go see his brothers and his mom, and that was a hoot. Honestly, that was a lot of fun getting them back together. And it's interesting seeing how that little bit of socialization can help him with a lot of stuff that I've been struggling with, like the biting and him climbing and trying to tear things up. I've never really had a cat of my own, so this is like a brand new experience. I'm trying to learn to be very patient with him and teach him to be patient with me, but we have a lot of fun. It's been really great. I have been absent for a while. I know I said that earlier. I've been really wanting to get back into filming and start sharing the books that I love with you guys. It just feels like it's been way too long. I know a lot of you have been commenting on some of my videos. I've not really had access to my YouTube lately, so if you have and I have not gotten back to you, I'm very sorry. One comment that I would love to address personally, because I was able to access my YouTube studio just a couple days ago and saw that you commented over a month ago and I have not been able to get back to you. That is, I am specifically speaking to I Am the Walrus-1966. You've changed your name a few times, and it's made me very hard to find the comment that you were talking about when you recommended me the Ira Levin book, but I did want you to know that I read Rosemary's Baby recently. Let me go grab it. Hey dude, come on. I've wanted to read this for a long time, and it was given to me as one of the best gifts I've ever gotten because it's such an old copy. But I really did love this book. It was terrifying, and even though I had seen the movie when I was much younger, I still enjoyed it because from what I can remember, there's not a whole lot different, but it's the feeling you get from reading the book and getting her actual thoughts rather than having to see someone try and convey that through their emotions. Great, Nia Farrow's wonderful, don't get me wrong, but this felt a lot more intense than the movie, I guess. And maybe that's just me because I tend to be a little more frightened by horror stories written than I do in movies. I don't know. But I really did enjoy this. If you could please let me know what book you recommended to me, because I have a horrible memory and I can't find your comment anywhere. I would really appreciate it. I'm also going to reply to you through the comments as well, because I feel so horrible that it's taken me so long to get back to you. I just opened this a minute ago and noticed that there was a notification that never showed up. I'm working on it. I'm doing the best I can. I'm currently working 12-hour shifts and trying to get my life in order, so we'll get back on track, I promise. But I do appreciate you being here and leaving a comment. Come here, fine. So I do have some video ideas that I'm hoping to work on very soon. One of them is going to be a much larger project, and that is covering Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Ow. That was actually one of my first buddy reads, and I thought the book was absolutely incredible. I loved every second of it. I loved getting to discuss it and share what I loved about it with someone else. This is going to be a bigger project because I want to delve into the history behind Frankenstein and how the creature himself has changed so much over the years. We start with Shelley's creature, who is just a very large man, just pieced together, and somehow ended up with the green neck-bolted creature that we have. I believe that I've talked about this video in maybe my last one. I can't remember, it's honestly been so long. But I do intend to get that written and start working on that because I do want to post it. It's just very fascinating to me how much that creature and the story itself has changed so much over time. Another one I hope to get around to is a review of the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom game. I played that a lot as a kid, absolutely loved it. My sister and I still play it to this day. We played the original PS2 game when we were children, and now that the remastered or rehydrated version has come out, I've played that a lot, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to record footage for that while I'm playing it because I don't necessarily want to go take someone else's footage to use. I'd rather use my own. But I've ran into a few snags, so I'm trying to work that out. I think I've had the script written for about 3 years now and just haven't gotten around to doing it, but it is something that I am very attached to and love very much, so I'd love to try and cover that. So far this year, I've read 30 books. I have a goal of 50 again for this year. Last year I barely made it, and this year I don't really care if I make it. I just want to enjoy what I'm consuming, and for the most part this year that has been very strong. There have only been a few books that I haven't been like super into. Come on, dude. But there are a lot of books that I would love to cover and discuss. There's been a few other buddy reads. We recently just got done reading the first Lord of the Rings. This is my second read through of this, and I love it just as much. I actually just recently was gifted this shirt. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's the Lord of the Rings gang. I have the map as well on one. I have a huge love for those stories as it is, and I'm surprised I haven't done a video over it yet, but it's probably because part of me feels like it's been covered so much. There's not a lot that I can say that's new, but it would be fun to kind of do a deep dive on the history and like the movies and things like that. While I have you here, I actually do have a book that I could go ahead and review, and that is Lost Boy by Christina Henry. This is one of those fairy tale mix-up stories where they take an original, like this one's Peter Pan, and they flip it on its head and make it about the villain. I usually tend to stay away from these kinds of books because a lot of them seem like something that would disappoint me. I don't mean to be harsh about that, but that's just not my cup of tea, I guess. So I was really surprised when this was brought home for me, and I was like, okay, like I love the movie Hook with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman, always will, very strong movie. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it, a lot of people don't like it, but I am one of the hardcore people. I'll stand behind it until the day I die. So this book in particular follows Jamie, who eventually becomes Captain Hook. It tells about how he got to the island, what him and Peter did in their early days. He's there for over 200 years, if I remember right. I think in specifics, he says 150 seasons. So he's very old at this point by the time these events are taking place. But it's really heartbreaking because you see a different side of Peter. Now, when I read Peter Pan and I watched the movies have always given me this warm-hearted feeling about Peter Pan. Like, I've always wanted to go fly with him or, like, hang out. You know, I wish that Neverland was real so I could go on adventures. But reading the book and really thinking about Peter as a character, and it's more so in the written iterations of him than it is, like, the films, he does seem more like a brat who just wants to get his way all the time and doesn't really put into consideration everybody else's safety. Now, maybe I'm reading too much into the older book and saying that, but this is really what brought it out for me, because partway through this book, I was like, yeah, Peter is a big brat, but in this, it's worse. this is not even kidding when it says, let me see, there's an excerpt. It says, a novel that reads like a Jacobean revenge drama crossed with a slasher movie, and that's by The Guardian in the UK. And that was one of the blurbs I absolutely agreed with, because you start off with like this heartwarming story, and you know that Jamie's mad at Peter, but you're not quite sure why yet until you get midway through and Peter is just dropping children into the most horrifying situations just because he's bored with them. He does not care at all about half the boys he brings to the island. They are just there for his amusement and for another reason that I'm not going to give away, because when it was revealed I was honestly horrified. It was something I kind of saw coming from the beginning, but I really wasn't expecting them to go that way, and I'm glad they did, because this was just very morbid. But I literally got this 2 days ago and finished it in a day and a half. I expected to feel kind of mid about it, so I was really shocked when I finished it, and I was like, wow, I kept thinking about it. It's just been on my mind since. I loved having that different dynamic of, you love Peter Pan and he's so lighthearted and free and wild, and then you get this side of the story from a lost boy who is absolutely terrified of him, and everyone else is too. And when they become disillusioned with Peter, they begin growing up. And just their whole escape plan and just hoping that they would get away, even though I know like specific characters will. The curse that Peter puts on Hook just really got me, because it's like, this poor kid, like, he did everything he possibly could. He did everything the right way, pretty much. I mean, there's a few things he may have made bad decisions on, but he's still essentially a child. So I have to give him some leeway there on that. But yeah, this was a terrific book. If you haven't read Lost Boy by Christina Henry, I highly recommend it. This was a wonderful surprise to get a hold of. I was a little hesitant at first because, like I said, I'm not really into the fairy tale twists and stuff like that. I'm honestly kind of interested to look into her other stories. This one is its own standalone. There's not another one. But then she has the Chronicles of Alice, which is Alice and the Red Queen, and I'm guessing that's like a spin-off on the Alice in Wonderland tales. I do want to put a warning out there for this book, though. It is very intense. It is very, there's a lot of bodily injury. I don't exactly know how to put that. It's just intense. We'll put it that way. It's very intense. I would suggest looking into some of the warnings before you go into this, because there were a lot of scenes that I was not expecting. It didn't bother me really, but for some people it may be a little much. I definitely would not recommend giving this to a kid, because I personally thought it was going to be like a juvenile book, but it is absolutely not. It is an adult book through and through. But yeah, I mean, I will still always go back to the movie Hook. I'll always go back to the early Peter Pan. I need to figure out which one that was because I loved it. So anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed that book. I just wanted to go ahead and share it because it just had me hooked quite literally for a couple of days, and I was not able to really put it down. Anyway, that's the only review I have for today, but I do plan to start trying to be more consistent in making videos. I have a lot of wonderful books that I would love to cover and a lot of mid books that I'd like to talk about. I know I've been super inconsistent on this channel for the, 3-4 years I've been on here, but life happens, and where you just keep walking, it's all about baby steps and getting where you need to go. So I'm gonna start working on some other videos, hopefully get them posted soon. If you have any recommendations, I would love to hear of them. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a shelf over here where my TV is. These are all unread books, and I have unread books mixed in with them. So I would love to grow that unread section. I know a lot of people get stressed out about having a lot of unread books and things like that lying around, but I love it for the sake of just being able to pick whatever I want when I feel like it. You know, I don't feel like I need to make a list of books that I need to read in order, because I'm definitely a mood reader. I have plenty of books that I have on standby for whenever I get done with the one that I'm currently reading, but who knows, in the next couple of days that'll probably change and then I'll rearrange them again. I really appreciate you stopping by. Oh, before I go, I want to show you one more thing. So, Also, in terms of new videos that will be coming out, I know we've already had a really big Ghostbusters video, but I want to do another one because this was given to me. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't wait to start building it. It is 2,352 pieces. That's that's one side. I'll show you the other side. And I think it's probably going to be about 2-3 feet long. But this is the Ecto one from Afterlife, and I'm so thrilled about it. I can't wait to start putting it together. We're talking about doing like a time-lapse video on top of the Ghostbusters video. That one will probably cover a lot of like the newer movies, because in my old video I did not want to talk about 2016, and I feel like it has to be because it's part of the franchise as much as I'm got issues with it, and it has nothing to do with the women. Please understand, it has nothing to do with women Ghostbusters. It just has to do with the writing and the fact that I know those women are funny, and the movie still wasn't. We watched it recently and it was not great. But the last two that have come out have been really good. I've enjoyed them enough. The Afterlife, which is what this particular Lego set is from, was good. It was a lot of regurgitating fan service stuff, you know, but it was fun. You could definitely tell it is a COVID film. And really, Frozen Empire was really wonderful. I'm glad that they steered away from the Gozer aspect. I'm glad they got away from Shandor, because that really should have been left with the third video game. As, like, they pretty much wrapped it up. There was no reason. I don't know. I'm already going off about this and haven't even started writing that video yet, so we'll stop here. Anyways, thank you so much for being here and watching this video. I'm so excited to be back. If it feels like I'm talking really loud, it's probably because I am. I am not used to being alone in a place, being able to film. I'm usually having to whisper or like try to work around everybody else's sounds. I hope that Mr. Behemoth wasn't too loud. He's been down here playing the entire time. So anyways, yeah, I would love to hear your recommendations. I would love to hear what you're reading right now, what you've been up to. Thank you all so much for your patience through all of this. The last year has been very hard, but we're back up now and we're just gonna keep on trucking. I will stop now. I hope you all have a wonderful day, an even better week, and until next time, happy reading.